Hey everyone, this is a quick tutorial on React Native animations. I'll show you how animations work and how to compose those animations. But I don't want to show some boxes and animate their position until that, there you go, you learned React Native animations. I don't want to do that. I want to explain these animations by building something that's used in real life situations. So in this video, we're going to build Medium's claps component. I'm sure most of you have already seen Medium's platform, but if you haven't seen, just check it out. Medium is a publishing platform where people can read and write articles. I read Medium every day, it's pretty good. So I'll just show you what we're going to build first and then we'll start building it. I have a screencast of Medium app here. So if you see this, this is a Medium article and you can see a clap button here. So it's basically like a Facebook like button or Twitter like button. It's something like that. So when someone likes an article, they start clapping, and this clap button does, it gives out a bubble and it starts animating its position, and then it disappears after a few milliseconds. You can see it here in the video. As you can see here, when I start clicking on it, it starts animating a bubble. So we'll be building this. So let's get started. So I have a basic app, React Native app here, the empty React Native app from React Native CLI. We'll start building from this. I'll remove the boilerplate code and then we'll start building the claps button. So I have a small color palette here, just few colors. We'll use these colors. We'll use the background color. Yeah, let's use this background color. For the class button, I'll be making it a separate component. So I'll create a new folder called components. And create a new file, claps button. I'll copy paste some code. Now render and return. Just return an empty view for now. I forgot to change the class name. Let's say clap button. Now we'll import this clap button here. Import clap button from and we'll use it here. We'll go to the clap button component and we'll start writing the code here. So I'll give it a style of flex1 to occupy the entire space. As you can see, the clap button here, it's positioned absolutely in the article in the bottom right. So we'll do the same. Yeah, we'll start building the class button now. We'll start with the touchable opacity and I'll give it a style. Say styles dot clap button. Dot create and clap button. Let's give it a position of absolute and let's give it a height of, let's say, 60 and width of 60. Let's give it a border radius of 30 to make it rounded. Let's give it a background color. So I have a color in the color palette. it's not, it's close to white, this color. Let's see how it looks. There's some error. Touchable, okay, I forgot to import the touchable opacity, so we'll import it here. Touchable opacity. Yep, it's positioned absolutely here. We'll position it in the bottom right. So bottom 20, let's give it 20 and let's give it right 20. It's positioned here. Here you can see it. Now we'll give it an elevation. So elevation gives a drop shadow. Give it an elevation of 3. Yep, you can see a slight shadow here. Now let's give an image. I'll first import the image from React Native. So we need to give this clap icon, right? The clap image. So I've already downloaded the clap images of Medium and I put it in a folder called images. You can see it here, clap and clap. So in the beginning it should be clap, but this clap image, and when it's clapped then it should be clapped image like this. So we'll use these images. So we'll go to image and we'll start using it. ./images/clap.png, and let's give it a style. Let's give it a height and width. Let's give it a height of 25 and width of 25. Let's see how it looks. You can see the image here, but it's not centered, so let's center it first. So I'll center it using justify content and content center and align item center. Yeah, it's centered right now, but the image is slightly cut in the bottom, so I think it's because of the aspect ratio. So I'll give it a height of say 27. Yeah, now it's perfect. Yep. Now we have this claps button. Let's start animating this now. Let's go through the animation again. So when you click on this, a small bubble comes from the button and it animates itself to the top. It waits there for a few milliseconds and then it disappears. So we'll start creating this bubble first. So let's create bubbles. So let's make bubble a different component, a different class clap bubble. Render and return. Now we'll be using the React Native's animated API. I'll drop a link in the description to React Native animated API's documentation. First go through it once, just check it out once, then you come back to this video and watch it, because you'll understand. If you read the documentation, you'll understand like what exactly is React Native's animated API. Then you can follow the video perfectly. So let me open the documentation. Just go through this documentation once, see all the different methods of React Native's animated API. Just go through this once, then you'll understand this video perfectly. Now we'll start animating the bubble. So I'll import the animated API first. So I'll be using something called as animated.view. So animated.view is nothing but a regular view of React Native, but we can animate this view. The regular view we cannot animate that, but this we can animate it. So I'll show you how to animate it and how to control the animation roles. Let's start doing it. Constructor, super. Yep. First, let's build this bubble first. So I'll give it a style. Let's say styles.clap bubble. So we'll go to styles and start building the clap bubble style. It's almost the same as clap button, but slightly different. So it has position absolute because it will be positioned in the same place as clap button. It has height of 60, width of 60, and border area of 30 for making it rounded. We'll have a different background color for this. I have a color palette here, so it's medium's green. So there's the color. Now you cannot actually see this because it is behind the clap button. Actually, we haven't even rendered it first, so let's render it. So I'm rendering the clap bubble first. Okay, I forgot to give the position of the clap bubble, so I'll give the position bottom 20 and right 20. Yep, right now it's here. If you want to see it, I'll make it 30. So right now it's here, it's hidden. That is all we need, right? It needs to be hidden there, but when I click on it, it should start animating itself to the top and then wait there for a few seconds and then disappear. So first we'll do the animation, then we will hook the animation to onPress event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the clap bubble state. I'll create a new animated value called yPosition, and I'll give it a value of 0. Now I'll create a new style called animation style, and I'm going to give a property called transform. And we'll be using translate y. I'll explain you what is translate y, what is transform, and what is translate y. I'll just explain. Let me write the code first. So I'm creating a new style called animation style, and I'm giving a property called transform. Transform takes an array of objects such as translate, translate x, translate y, rotate, rotate x. So all these are animation properties. So we're going to be using translate y because we need to animate the position of this element in y-axis. So y-axis means from either top or bottom. So translate y is this dot state dot y position. So currently the y position state value is 0. So in the beginning it doesn't change. I'll just show you won't understand this if I just keep explaining. I'll show you how it is, then you'll understand it. So I'll give this animation style also. Animation style. Okay, something is wrong. Style. This dot state dot y position. Evaluating value dot get value. Okay, this has to be new animated value, not 0. New animated value of 0. Animated dot value of 0. Let's see how it looks. So right now it's not doing anything because the position is currently 0. So now we'll animate the Y position first. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to component did mount. So there's a function called animated.timing which we'll be using for animating the Y position first. Just check it out in the React Native documentation. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to animate.timing. We'll be animating the Y position property. So this dot state dot Y position, and we need the Y position to change to -100 to value -100, and the duration would be 500 in the sense 500 milliseconds. So what you are telling animated API is, as soon as the component mounts, change the Y position, the translate Y position of this bubble to -100, so it goes from here till here. So let's see how it looks. Okay, I forgot to start the animation. So dot start. Let's reload it. Can you see that animation here? So the bubble starts from here and then it goes slightly to the top. Let's make it 120. I think 100 is too small. The bubble starts from here, then it starts animating itself to the top. So what it does is, in the beginning the animation, the translate Y value is 0, so it just stays in its own position. But after in 500 milliseconds it needs to animate itself from 0 to -120. So if you give 100, it starts animating itself from here till down. So let me show you by giving it 100 plus 100. So now it will animate itself to the bottom. We are given minus, so it will go animate itself completely to the top. It goes from here till like -100, -500 again. It starts from here and then it goes till there. So we just need -120 because that's what we need in the animation. You can see it here. We just need some slight transform Y, so we're going to do that. Let's see the animation again. Oh shit. Now we'll start animating.